It's Wednesday the 6th of December 2017, and this is about 2 weeks after the last video at Carnivorous Plant Nurseries in Geraldine. If you've seen the last video, you'll notice that there's been a phenomenal amount of growth in the last couple of weeks. I think the density of pitches in the greenhouse would be probably 3 times what it was 2 weeks ago, so a lot of growth, and the colours continue to improve. The sunshine hours this spring has been probably the record of any year that I've been in Geraldine so far. We've only had about 3 days of rain since September, and the sunshine has just been fantastic. So as we go around the greenhouse, I guess the first things that we'll notice are the excellence here, Sarracenia excellence. These are the clone originally from Don Gray back in 1988, and at this point in time there's quite a nice flush of pitches, and right beside those are the red eyes, which are now starting to come into their own a little bit. The flowers long since over now, although the petals lasted for probably about 4 weeks this year. Directly behind that are some albumensis, Rubra albumensis from Great Britain originally, and these are just the spring pitches at this stage, but the summer pitches will be superb. The spring pitches never are, they're always quite plain. Directly behind that are some Leucophila from Italy. Again, these are some quite white varieties, not a lot of red in them at all. Directly behind those we've got the first batch of Nairi Grey. Again, a superb performing plant, very, very nice indeed. There's the first of the Italian Rubricorporas, and beside it Wakamore, which is a cultivar recently registered by Don Gray in Auckland. It's a plant that we've grown in New Zealand since about probably the mid 1970s for sure. Originally it was from the Christchurch Botanical Gardens, but they imported it from America, probably a wild collected plant. These are largely Wakamore, and as you can see the colour is superb. Not a lot of difference now between some of the best Rubricorporas and the Atropurpureas. Here's the first of the chocolate top flavas, which was an Italian plant. Imported as seed back in the late 1990s. As of those, there again, seed that I bought in from Italy many years ago. Just glossing over the Leucophilas at this stage. I'll do a video more on them at the end of March or the beginning of April when they start to grow their summer pitches, but at this stage they just had a nice splash of colour to the greenhouse, as do these. These are Micheliana crossed with Leucophilas. They were originally grown by Linda and Jamie Lawrence in Christchurch. I purchased a plant in 1988, and what you can see there is the descendants of that plant. A few Audreys in there. Hard to see now, the Apawa Emperor at the back, all the growth around it well and truly smothering it. There's the first of the minor giants. These are the Okyphenokiensis form. There's quite a few amongst this lot here. Those Rubricorporas are starting now to put on a lot of colour and looking quite striking. The rest of the Italian rubricorporas are really colouring up well now. Dense colour. And the Aureophila crossed with Leucophila that I made a couple of decades ago are now looking quite striking. Into the Alata Bay. At this time of year, Alata never looks much, but in the front of the bay you'll see a pile of Alata black tubes. These are from White's Crossing and starting to colour up now. Unlike the ones beside it, which are the anthocyanin-free Alatas, just there for contrast really. And directly behind it is a harperi, courtesy of Mike Gilson of Christchurch. Directly behind those are some Miramar Beach Flava ornatas. Again starting to get lost in the growth, but looking very nice. And a tall Morai. This is Flava atropurpurea crossed with a tall Luke, I can't quite remember which one. We're up to 7 minutes at this point, and we're only halfway along one side of the first greenhouse. So you can imagine how the growth has been exponential in the last few weeks. A lot of these red flavas here are all Flava atropurpurea wacamores, but again directly behind, and of a point of further interest over here, are some more rubricorporas from Italy. Still some of the best performers in the greenhouse. The tall, heavily veined plant here last year was the best performing rubricorpora, but this year looking quite average in comparison to most. Over here, something of interest. The flava in the centre of the frame now has got a hood which would be about 6.5 or 7 inches across the top, and the mouth would be about at least 4 inches in size. It's pretty impressive. Coming into the minors here, these are Ware County minors, imported as seed, and these would be about 10 years old now. Not the fastest growing minor I've ever come across, but then, to be frank, none of them ever are. Another chocolate top, and a Morai, which again is a dark red Flava atropurpurea crossed with Leucophila. Tall excellent right next to that, which is quite a nice plant. It's ex-Auckland. These are quite striking now. These are a lot of Italian Leucophilas. They're a pink tube variety for the most part, but they're starting to come into their own, and these are just the spring traps. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what the summer ones look like, but I think they're going to be quite impressive. Directly behind there, some Flava maxima. Totally all green Flava. Now a very, very rare plant in New Zealand. I don't know many people at all that have got that plant. These Rubricorpras here were superb, or still are, but just getting past their best now a little bit. And Juliet, looking quite nice. In the background, another one of those Flavas with the white hood. It's a Regilii that I imported as seed in 2001. Again, a monster of a mouth and a monster of a hood. I'll get a little bit closer. An insane plant, to say the least. Some Rubra weary down here. And the first of the Aureophillas. In this bay here, quite a lot of Flava caprea, which are now starting to lose their colours as the season's moved on a long way. This is the Audrey Bay. Actually, they're all Audrey 2. These are